Most real estate agents spend their entire career building someone else's business. You close deals, you hit your cap, and then at the end of the year, all you really have is commission checks. You don't have equity, passive income, and no real wealth to show for it. But Real built something specifically designed to change that, and it's called the Wealth Plan. Let's dig into the Wealth Plan. I'm excited to share this with you. So I'm going to hop into reZEN. Everything that we do here at Real is tied into reZEN. So what I'm going to click on over here on the left-hand side is our Wealth Plan. Okay, so once I have this pulled up, you'll see my wealth plan in here and a breakdown of the different ways in which you can earn income, percentage of goal to complete, and then you can see here that it has like lots of different things for each section. And then down here where you can learn more. And so if you're an agent at Real, this is a great opportunity or a great place to be able to learn more about the different facets of stuff at Real, right? Commission income, pre and post cap stock purchase program, the stock award for capping and attraction, and then elite agent and revenue share income. And so all of that's in here. It's a great way, again, to learn about everything that is offered here at Real. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I can click in here and I can say I'm creating a wealth plan for John Smith, who is in USA or Canada. I'm going to say USA. I hit next, and then I can put in the information in here. And so what's interesting about this is like, if you are an agent, you're considering Real and you want a wealth plan to be able to see like what the numbers may look like if you were at Keller Williams last year and you sold how many ever homes, like what would that look like if you came to Real and did some attraction and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different examples here. First would be, we'll just say $450,000 sales price. This could be anywhere between like 10 grand and 20 million. We'll say 35 transactions a year, so 15, almost 16 mil. And then average commission, we'll say 2.5%. Will or will not be a team leader. So you can say yes or no on this. We're going to say yes to the stock purchase program, and then we'll say that we have 0 agents and we maybe have 5 people join us a year. And then I can come in here and adjust this. We'll say 5 people come here. We'll say 10 people are here. We'll say 10 people are here. And we'll say 10 people are here. And so that's at least just being, I think a little conservative. If you brought over 5 people with you and then all of them kind of brought over a few people, you'd have, maybe 5 in your tier 2, 10 in your tier 3, 10 in tier 4, 10 in tier 5, annually joining each year, right? And then we'll say 30% are capping in your network. That's probably, again, a little bit conservative, but I don't want to say that you'd have 100% of people capping because we know that's just not the case with brokerage. Then I can say here, like, hey, what do we forecast the stock to be in 5 years? If we're trading at $263 today, I'll say, I think $6, maybe let's say $6.50 just to be wild. And then I can hit next. Then here I can add in, your info. But what we'll do first is click preview wealth plan. And so this would be for like an individual agent, you're selling on your own. What does this wealth plan look for you in 5 years? And so you'll see here, it's a breakdown of commission income of almost 2 mil. Then you have some stock purchase program. You have some stock award for capping, post cap stock purchase program, elite agent award, elite agent cultural, revenue share, and the stock award for attraction. Right. And so I can scroll down and I can see kind of a breakdown of each of these things. I can click on the info here and it's going to give me more info on the, different caps. And, then I can kind of come through here and read all of these different things on each thing. So again, if you're considering Real, it's a great way to be able to get educated. And also if you're an agent at Real, like I find that a lot of times people will come over and they'll know like a portion of the things that we have here at the company. If you are an agent at Real, I would recommend going in, creating a wealth plan, and then reading through. This is what a wealth plan would look like for, again, an individual agent at Real. If I come back here, I can go back and maybe I edit this a little bit, right? So let's say, team leader still doing 35 deals a year, but instead of saying no here, I'm going to say yes and say, 5 team members, each closing 10 deals a year. Their average price, normally it's like a little bit lower than the team lead. So we'll say $425, and that we get at least 40% on every deal. And then we keep all of the same numbers. Otherwise I can hit next, then I can hit preview wealth plan. And this is going to show me a little bit different of a projection, right? So now the commission income is 2.7 mil. And that is basically because we also have the team. And so what's cool here is you can see your breakdown is the 1.7, and then the team's going to bring in 973, right? Another example I always like to give too is like, okay, say we keep all of this, but we don't participate in the stock purchase program. When I hit next, I hit preview wealth plan. Now I can see what it looks like. And you see here, hey, you're not earning anything here. It's locked. You don't participate in this way to earn, right? So, how do I unlock it, or what does that look like? So I always recommend doing the stock purchase program. Again, it's like $18,400 a year that you're giving in of your own money, and then the company matches it. But I know that like oftentimes I'm not taking money and putting it into the market with every deal kind of thing. And so it just is helpful to just have another source of income. So these are kind of the different ways in which, I use the wealth plan when I'm talking with agents. I think that it's cool because, again, you can put in your sales volume. We can put in, if you're planning on doing the stock purchase programs, you can really see how you would earn or what that would look like if you moved to real. And then if you send these to agents, like if you're an agent at real and you're sending these to agents, where I was in here and I click to get started, there's also view dashboard. And so you can see in the dashboard who you've sent the wealth plans to and kind of track on those. The dashboard will notify you as soon as they open the email and view the plans. That's pretty cool. As an agent at real, if you have a wealth plan built, if you in here have different things, so I'm going to say I'm not participating in the stock purchase program. Let me update that. It should now show me that I have 2 missed opportunities, right? Hey, I'm not doing the stock purchase program, so these 2 are locked. I can click unlock, and then it's going to tell me how much my stock would be worth if I were to do this. And so I think that this is kind of a cool way, if you are an agent at real, or once you are at real, to understand like how much money you're leaving on the table if you aren't participating like in the stock purchase program. Same thing if I'm in here and I select and edit my goal and say that I am participating, but say, will I attract agents to real? I say no, and I hit update plan. Then it's going to come in here and show me that, hey, I don't participate in this, so I have some missed opportunities. These are ways in which I can earn additional income, right? And so I think that for agents, it allows us to be able to visualize, which I think so many people, me included, are like visual learners. Like I need to see it before it completely clicks in my head. I can see the differences between if I participate or don't participate in some of these financial things. So it's cool that I can set 5-year targets. I can have long-term goals. And again, you can drill into the individual things to say, okay, well, if I increase my average sales price to $450, what does that look like? If I'm doing 10 deals a year instead of 20, what does that look like? If I increase my average commission, what does that look like? And I can kind of edit this stuff in order to see what things would look like if I am doing those things. And so as I'm looking into all of this, when I'm looking at these, the other thing that like to keep in mind too is like, as you're doing this, one of the main things that's going to make the number very high or very low is where you think the stock is going to be. And so that's something that like I normally try to go on the conservative front. And so even if I said, that it's going to be 470, that's obviously going to significantly change my projected earnings, right? But the thing that I think is really important to pay attention to is like where most people are earning income is like commission income and revenue share. And so the stock isn't necessarily like the main driver here, but again, like you're able to play around with that once you have your own wealth plan, especially once you're at real, as you're sending wealth plans. And so you can send people or show people like I just did on, live on a Zoom, what that looks like for them, especially if the stocks are higher or lower. So just something to consider. If you want a plan of your own, you can scan the QR code or drop me a note. My contact info is down in the description, down at the bottom of the video. Happy to help you out with that.